Hey everyone, I picked up a great project yesterday. In fact, it was quite an adventure. A Craigslist adventure, I guess you'd say. There was a toolbox being advertised, and at first it was, I think, $250, then it dropped to $180, and then it dropped to $100. And it said it was full of tools, but in the photos you couldn't see much. All you could see is like Allen wrenches and stuff that's really not worth anything. But at $100 and the fact that it was maybe 30 minutes away, I decided I better jump on it. So when I got out of work Friday, I shot up and grabbed it. So it was in a small barn that was falling down and actually smelled like a herd of camels had been living in there for the last 20 years and dying in there. And but after all is said and done, if I had known that was what it was going to take, I wouldn't have done it. The woman warned me that it was going to be hard to get it out. But apparently, so what happened was her father had died. Now, this woman was not young. She was probably 70 or in her 70s. And the guy must have been in his 90s, and he was still apparently fairly active. He died, they were selling the whole estate, and the whole place was falling apart. It was absolutely in a state of neglect. And so I just said, okay, I'll go in and get it. This building was falling apart. And the funniest part is, behind where the toolbox was kind of in around a corner, there was actually a door, and it had a padlock on it. The whole place was kind of tilting over, and I imagined that if it does fall over while I'm in there, this toolbox, I'll just kind of duck against it. So I told her, don't worry about it. I brought some old toolboxes and bins and things to unload it because it was clearly loaded. It was going to be very heavy. And at one point, I just hear this banging, and so apparently she decided that she was going to break this padlock off the door. She just started doing this, and things are falling over in the garage. I quickly went around and was like, don't worry about that. Unfortunately, there were no bolt cutters in the toolbox. I would have just clipped it for her. It's like, don't worry about that. I'm going to get it out anyway. But that being said, it was quite an adventure. And, you know, normally it would be something really worth filming. But me personally, I think that's kind of an invasion of someone's space and their lives. And so I didn't film the whole process of getting it. But I did want to show you what I got, because I will be doing a video to restore it. Maybe this will be it. And it's pretty interesting if you know the history of these things. And it also is incredibly heavy, which was another problem because I was by myself and these are heavy. So this is, it's easier to get it out than it is to load it. Get the top box out, and then we'll look at it. This is not lightweight. This is empty, and I can barely lift this thing. I don't know what it weighs. It's actually bigger. It's deeper than your average 26-inch wide toolbox. I think this is 15, whereas most of them are 12. But let me show you what it is. Hi, Muggsy. So this is an MBC, which, as you can see, is Metal Box and Cabinet Corporation of Chicago. I've never seen one of these. You can see how filthy it is. Oh, another socket. These were really high quality. They were made by MBC, and before, I guess, there's some history with Snap-on. And I thought this would be a great one to restore. I think it's missing this, yeah, this little door here. I don't care about that. For my personal use, I'm fine with it. There's still some random stuff. Let me espouse a little bit about my philosophy when I do stuff like this. These people were clearly just selling off the estate. They hadn't done an estate sale. I live in a kind of a rural area, very rural, is where this place was. And clearly the people didn't have any money. And honestly, this was worth far more than the $100 I paid for it. The box itself was probably worth $200. And wait till you see what was inside. Unfortunately, in the photos, I don't think she knew what it was, what anything was. And so she literally had a couple of pictures. I'll put some of them up because I clipped them from the ad. So you'll see that she didn't know what was worth anything. But there were some valuable tools in here. But it's kind of sad. Someone came to look at this box and told the woman, apparently when it was listed for $180, told the woman, I'll give you $50 for it, which she said no. And the interesting thing is, I think that's why she dropped it to $100, which is why I jumped on it and got it. Now, it was a chore getting it out of that barn. But one of the things I do is, I always gauge the people, and certainly in a situation like this, I'm not going to try to get the price down at all. $100 was, you know, more than enough. You know, it was a really good deal. And of course, they just wanted to get rid of it. I didn't know what was in it because it was pretty dark in the barn. And honestly, the smell was really overpowering. So I literally just threw things in toolboxes and things. And I really haven't seen everything that's in it, but I did notice one thing. There was a rack of sockets. And as far as I know, I think they were snap-ons. Not a lot, just 12 or so. And I do know that there was a bunch of wrenches and things, and they seem to be USA. So we'll look at that and see what was there, because that's kind of the fun of doing this. To me, it's almost like Christmas time. You don't know what you're going to get. I wanted the box because I want to restore this box, but the tools inside are like the icing on the cake. You get to see, you never know, I might find something I need or something that's just particularly interesting. But so I don't try to talk the people down. I look at it, it's like, it's a fair price. I'm not going to talk them down. And there are situations, cars and things like that, sure, I'll talk them down. But something like this was really cheap. And it was a really, really good deal. And these people clearly just needed to dissolve the estate. And they didn't have any money. It was pretty obvious. So anyway, that's about all I have to say on my philosophy for Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist deals. But let's take a look at some of the stuff that was in here, because I've got it in the truck, in boxes. I got to unload from the side. It's all very heavy. So let me unload it. I'm going to put it on the table, and then we'll take a look at it. Okay, we'll start with the random stuff. And here's a rule. When you go to do this, always bring, if you ever buy a big toolbox like this, full of tools, always bring some smaller toolboxes and crates or even cardboard boxes, because there's going to be a lot of junk in there and it's really heavy. So, I mean, there's a little bit of everything in here. There's clamps, saws, hammers, auger bits, piston ring things, some customization, wire strippers, more of the same, locking pliers. I don't know the brand. I'd have to kind of clean it up first to see. But and there's nut drivers down here. I don't know if these are painted. That's paint or corrosion. Weird. I don't know what brand they are either. Probably inconsequential. More locking pliers. Hacksaws. There's files and chisels and, you know, there's basically almost anything. There's a lot of drill bits, which I'm going to have to go through. This is interesting. I haven't looked at this. This is a Vermont American tap and die set. I don't know if this is an old, he saved the broken piece. Interesting. I mean, how often was that used? I don't know if Vermont American, I'll have to do some research on that. That's heavy. This is this giant auger bit. I don't know what that was for. It's crushed into a pipe. Some hacksaws. It's an interesting one. Chrome handled. These giant wrenches. They're totally rusty. I don't know what's in there. See, I really didn't look at this stuff. Yeah, hex bits. Oh, here's something interesting. That goes in there. This is cool. This thing I did notice. Look at this tiny little Craftsman. How cool is that? That's going in my stuff. I'm keeping that. Here's I don't know what this is. It's a cylinder head. I can't see through the plastic, so let's see what it is. Cylinder head rethreader kit. Interesting. Things I've never used before. But anyway, so wire strippers, more wire strippers. These are actually in nice shape. A lot of it was quite rusty. There's no doubt. There. But anyway, so on top of all that, look at this huge bucket of sockets and an extension cord. And Stanley Professionals. I mean, I don't know, is this a whole set? I doubt it. I don't even know what this thing is. This is so small. I've never seen anything like this. This is a SK Tools. Look at that. It says 1/8. I don't have that size. Some of these are metric. Are these all SK? These are all SK, I guess. Interesting. So he's got, in the Stanley Professional box, he separated and put SKs in there. These are snap-ons, as far as I know. I think so. Yep, that's a snap-on. And they appear to be snap-on metrics. Looks like it's missing a couple. A couple that may be in here. In fact, here's one right here on this ratchet. This ratchet is Gentech. I don't know who that is. So I got to get this socket. Oh, it can. Okay, so this socket goes there. Probably. These are the good ratchets. We get a Craftsman V. I always like the Craftsman stuff. I think there was another brand. This guy, I think, yeah. That's an SK. That's a good ratchet. That must go with those sockets. What's in there? I don't know if you're bored. To me, this is kind of fun. This case doesn't want to open. Oh. SK. Boy, if those were SK metrics, they'd be worth a lot. I wonder if looks like it's missing a couple, but anyway, so huge breaker bar with an extension on it. Napa. This is so you got to be respectful to these people. This is someone's lifetime collection of tools, and you know, it's sad in a way. There's a lot of sockets in here. I'm going to go through, see if I can put together some sets. Another ratchet. This says performance tool. I don't know. That seems China to me. Chrome's coming off too. And then I got this. These are wrenches. I don't know. Taiwan. That's a USA plumbing wrench. That's China. A rigid. Oh, that's a good one. I don't know what that is. A lot of the stuff was just in drawers that were just caked with rust and dirt. But look at all these wrenches. And I got a bag. I put all these separate. These are interesting. All little timing wrenches. Separate bag. I didn't mix them in. But looking at these are mostly Craftsman. SK, Craftsman, SK. Don't know who that is. It's USA. Mac. Wow, Mac. Small wrench. I guess that'll go with this guy. SK. These are all Craftsman, I think. There's a Williams. But anyway, so it's pretty cool, right, Mugs? Pretty cool. Okay, I've separated everything out. I'm gonna go through this one at a time. So here's the Craftsman. I got 6 sequential deep sockets. So this may have been a set. I've got one Craftsman half-inch drive ratchet, a V series. These are all V's. Everything's V's. These are kind of random. Not a set. An extension, a breaker bar, 2 more extensions. A really tiny little extension that I kind of like this. I don't have this. These aren't really complete sets, so I did not get a complete set, unless you consider that those deeps. And maybe it is, I don't know. I don't think this goes with those. Possibly. 7/16. So we'd be missing the half if that were the case, and that's not quite long enough. But anyway, let's move on to the S&K. See what we got there. Here's what I've got for SK. I've got this cool little 1/4-inch drive, rusted solid, but I'm sure I can get that working again. A universal joint extension and a regular extension for the 1/4-inch. I've got a 3/8 drive, SK, with 1 extension. And then, unfortunately, no sets. This is close. We got 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, no 11, 10, 9, no 8, and then 7. These are crazy. These little guys. Look at this. This is 732s, right? It's pretty small. This is a 532s. And technically we would say this is a, well, it's a 1/8 or a 2/16 or a 432s. Look at how small that is. Couple deeps, couple regulars. These metrics are okay. I wish I had a few more. I'd have a full set, but no such luck. I do have in the random no-name brands, I've got plenty of metrics that could make a full set, but for the moment I'm not going to assemble anything. The big winner is the snap-ons. This is a full set. Right down the line from 22mm to 5mm or 6, whatever that says, I don't know. So that's cool. That pays the price of admission. The Matcos, hi Muggsy. The Matcos, I think we got a full set of impacts. These are Matco, right? Yeah, Matcos. Got a few impacts that are Cornwells, and that goes with the other Cornwell stuff. And then this is all that just Chinese or no name. There's a lot of stuff, some ratchets, performance tool, I don't know who that is. I don't know who Centec is, if that says Centec or it says Gentech, or one of these I thought said Centec on it. But, and then a whole bunch of other sockets that actually look pretty nice. And I don't know who makes them, but that's it. That's it for all the sockets. Here's an example of some of the random tools. I've cleaned up these, going through all of the crates of tools. I found pretty much a really nice USA drill set. That just doesn't want to go in that way. It wants to go that way. You know, how complete is it? I don't know. It's pretty random, but I got a lot of drills there. That's good. USA drills, tough to come by. Pipe wrenches, we got rigid, we got Dunlop, we got some Taiwan and some China, so mixed lot. Wire strippers, these are actually real vice grips. Those might clean up well. Look at these wrenches. I don't know, maybe for working on old Caterpillar equipment. See the yellow paint? Don't know, but a lot of stuff. And this whole batch of screwdrivers and just random stuff. Most of it not particularly valuable. All right, let's talk about the value of everything we found in the box. Snap-on sockets were the big win, probably $100 to $200 on eBay. We found 2 complete sets of SK SAE wrenches, probably $100 for those. We found 1 complete set of metric SK wrenches, so we'll just say like $80 for those. A complete set of Matco impact sockets. They're quite rusty now, but I plan on cleaning them up, so those will probably be $100. There's a few, I think 4 or 5 SK and Craftsman ratchets for $150. A bunch of random USA sockets from Williams, Craftsman, a few spare S&Ks, and a bunch of others, but we'll say $150 to $100. Craftsman wrenches, found a lot of them. No complete sets, but a lot of wrenches, so we could sell them individually, get maybe $100. And now other random tools. There is a lot. There's tap and die sets, which should be worth at least $50. There's pipe wrenches and screwdrivers, and nut drivers, and wire strippers and pliers and locking pliers and vice grips, and you know, there's so much. So it all depends on how much you want to work on them. Do you want to clean them all up? There's a great Dunlop pipe wrench I think I'm going to restore. A lot of it is good brands and a lot of it is not good brands. A lot of it is very rusty, and some of it can be saved and brought back to almost like new. So for now, I'm just going to say for the random other tools, I'm just putting a figure of $100 on it. And then that leaves us with the box. So what do we think an MBC toolbox from the 1960s is worth? Well, MBC, as some of you may know, was a supplier of boxes for Snap-on as well as their own, and they supplied other brands as well. So the price could go anywhere, but as of right now versus what it's going to look like when you tune into part 2 of this video, I'm not going to give you an estimate. Let's see what you have to say after you've seen what I do with the box, all right? All right, so if you're ever so inclined to go pick up an old rusty toolbox that you see online on Craigslist or Marketplace or something advertised, you know, this is what you're in for. I think I did pretty well. I would say conservatively, I can get $500 for the contents. Not that I plan on immediately selling this stuff. Most of it I will end up donating. But if you see it, you might strike gold. I didn't find anything in here that was really valuable, like the $1,000 item. But what I did find was the Snap-ons and the SKs and the Craftsmans and stuff. All USA tools have a somewhat collectible value, and it's only going up. So if you see something like this online, you know, unless I'm in line first trying to get it, you know, don't be intimidated. Just go out, get busy. Take care.